Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Two Sisters Unscripted. This is Caitlin.
And I'm Megan.
And today, well, actually, before we get into that, super sorry we missed out on last week, but super grateful for all of the people who reached out and inquired about our episode. Just this pretty chaotic week for the both of us. So we decided to do what was just a little bit best for us in that moment and just come back full force this week.
It was St. Patrick's Day week. It is one of my busiest weeks, so I apologize, but I was also exhausted by the end of every day. But we're
So,
back.
and we practice what we preach, right? Give yourself some time to just have some downtime as well, especially after a busy week. So, but yeah, we're back. And our topic for today is just talking about what's our motivation and what just motivates us with day to day tasks, with life, with work, anything like that. I actually reached out to, I say it like I don't talk to her every day. I reached out to Megan. I texted Megan and I was like, yo, I was running. I don't remember what
No,
day it
no,
was.
hold on. It was yesterday, and you called me because you were too lazy to text, was your exact words.
This is true. I prefer to talk to people over phone or FaceTime. Texting just feels like it's too much. My fingers, my little tiny thumbs just can't do it. I have very small hands. But are you sure it was yesterday I talked about this?
Yeah, I was
Okay,
in the
well
car with
then
Dad, remember?
yesterday I was running and I'm like, damn, this sucks. And then I was like, how am I doing this? What is motivating me to do this? And I felt like I was just going through so many different emotions while doing this run. And I was like, wow, this is actually we should talk about this. So that's what we're doing now. We're talking about what's our motivation and also just not even just what's our motivation, but like what are those factors that like influence that motivation. Also, when we don't have that motivation, how are we overcoming that lack of motivation? So, Megan has this great definition for motivation that she just knew, apparently. She said, did you look at motivation up? I was like, no. I was like, what is it? And she said the definition right then and there. So, what is it, Megan?
It is the desire or willingness to do something, which is often driven by a goal or incentive.
It sounded like she just read it off, but she actually knew that. So I just want to let everybody know she just knows this part because she probably has to motivate her kids to get up every day to get things done.
No, I only knew it because I looked it up before I even brought it up to you.
Oh, see. And now she knows it even more now.
I do. I'll never
Beautiful.
forget the definition.
Um, what's kind of cool about motivation too, though, is that they have like intrinsic and then extrinsic motivation. And I because I bring it up, right? But we also learned about this in OT school as well because it just drives patients differently with like what their goals are and what motivates them. And it can be intrinsic or extrinsic. Where intrinsic it's more internal, so it's like kind of like self passion and what like more passion, more
Yes, that's
power. Yeah, I knew it. And what drives you, while like extrinsic is more of those, it could be like recognition, it could be like for family, it could be like different rewards that are like given to you, all this other stuff. So it's just, those are could be just different types of motivation that we see. So we figure we just kind of touch on different personal stories or what
or some
individually.
combined motivation. Our podcast is our combined motivation. Um,
Yeah.
we have to work together to get motivated to come on here and speak to all of you guys.
Not in a bad
No,
way. In
not
a
in a
way,
bad way.
we genuinely love doing this. It's more of, I think it's more of like,
Trying to
what,
find a combined time for both of us where the
yeah,
kids are asleep or out of the house or quiet is very difficult. It feels like, especially the last few weeks, like our schedules just haven't matched. Um, so we definitely have to motivate each other. Like this week, Keegan was just fighting bed for an hour before this, and we're like, well, we still have to record. Let's do this. And so we motivate each other to do this podcast. And for
yes,
sure, our listeners motivate us because we don't want to let them down.
right. And you guys reach out to us and let us know about enjoying the podcast, and we enjoy that. And you guys motivate us even more. So we
And some of the
appreciate it.
people that reach out with how our stories like touch them or they can like resonate with some of the stuff we say also motivates us to keep going with this podcast because just knowing that we're touching the lives of one or two other people out there just it means a lot.
Yeah, yeah. We're still new to all this, so always a learning curve. But we definitely appreciate what we've heard so far from you guys. So definitely, you guys motivate us. So thanks,
Thank
kudos,
you,
thanks so
listeners.
much.
You are our motivation.
I mean, Megan, I just speaking personally, like, what are some things that motivate you for? I think also with motivation though, it's for like different things as well.
Yeah,
Like it's
like
like
every
life and then
career.
career. Yeah, and it's like I think it's very different of what motivates each thing.
All right, so what are we gonna talk about with my motivation? Like what
Touch
part of
on
my
it all, girl, everything.
I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but my motivation every single day is my kids. I want to be the best version of me for them. So, other than feeling good physically and mentally, my motivation to get up and go to the gym and just move every day is them. My motivation for, I don't know, I don't do much else other than take care of my kids all day long.
So
You got to give me something to work with here.
pre-COVID, my sister had a dog walking business, and she was really great at it, and she had a lot of clients, and they loved her. And so, like, what motivated you to do that, to even start that, to go out of your like comfort zone and start a individual business?
This is gonna sound awful, but the money.
The
Uh,
money drove a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
no, it wasn't like I was out here making millions of dollars walking dogs. I sincerely loved it. I loved making my own schedule, running my own business. It was a lot and it was hard, bookkeeping and all that. But my motivation to get through the hard parts were, to be honest, the clients, and that includes their four-legged fur babies because those babies became my babies, and I love those dogs. And when COVID hit and the state told me I wasn't essential anymore, like that hurt. And then I got
Yeah.
pregnant and I had a rough pregnancy, so I didn't go back. But I just said, was it a couple weeks ago, when both kids are back in school, like in school full time, I already can't wait to going back to walking dogs.
Yeah.
But no, that was definitely my clients were my motivation for that. It wasn't even the just the money. I mean, getting
Yeah.
paid at the end of the week is very nice, but it was also making my own schedule and being my own boss. And
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Yeah.
getting ready to hire because I was getting so busy before COVID hit. But we're gonna get back there. Motivation, see? I'm gonna get back there.
And this times it's for your family.
Yep.
Extrinsic.
All right, so let's break yours down. What motivates you with your career?
Oh, why do you gotta start with career first?
Get the worst out of the way. No.
No, I say that just because I feel like anytime, like if you say, "Hey, my name's Caitlin. Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, I'm an OT." It's like one of the first things we say about us is like, "This is what I do for my career," and it's like that's not
I
all
was
of
more
who we
thinking
are.
just get it out of the way and then we can go on
But
to life, the good
right,
stuff.
sure, sure. No, well, honestly, I think it's both my patients and me. So obviously, I work long hours, and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super thrilled to go into work every day because that would be a lie. Getting up, knowing I have to work 12 hours is crazy to me. And I'm like, wow, this doesn't sit well. But, but I do genuinely love what I do, and it motivates me knowing that I am helping people, and just knowing like I can go into a patient's room and I have so many patients that have told me like I have a lot of patience with them, and it's like a breath of fresh air for them because so often, whether it's doctors, nurses, or even fellow therapists, go in and it's like rushing and everything's like super quick and all this stuff. So I I do it for them first and foremost, honestly, is because I genuinely fully believe in equality of life and quality over, we want to live long lives, of course, but if the quality's not there, I'm that's just kind of my thought process on a lot of things, and it so motivates me definitely to go in to know that I'm helping people, and it just intrinsically, if we speak about that, it just feels good knowing that I do this for a career. But career wise, what really motivates me even further is knowing that my end goal is to dismantle the healthcare system and build it back up. But that's a different topic for a different day. But yeah, genuinely, that is honestly what motivates me the most because it's significantly flawed and we need to make some changes there. How I get there, I don't know yet, but it's like deeply rooted in me and my passion. Um,
More passion.
my passion, yeah, more passion. But so that's kind of my career wise. With everything else, work. It's so funny. When I was running, one of my gym dads came up and was like, "What's your goal?" And I was like, "To live." Literally, I'm just like,
Mm.
that's just what I say now. Like people in the gym, they're like, "What's your goal?" Or I'm like, "To live." And I wish, like, I do have other stuff. Like, I have a 8K coming up, a 10K. Like, I'm going to start training for High Rocks for next year, which I'm really excited about. And I wish I could say, oh, like, I'm so motivated. I'm not. Like, I think my motivation derives from the fact that last year I was so bad that, like, I had no motivation, right? Like, I had no motivation to even get out of bed. Like I didn't want to do it. The only thing that motivated me, funny enough, going back to what you said, the money, right? It really was the money. And I think I mentioned this in one of our other podcasts. It was the money. The money drove me. And I was like, I gotta pay my bills somehow. So like I'm getting up and I'm gonna go to work. But I really wasn't motivated to do anything else. And really it wasn't I like finally I I don't even know like what it was that had me overcome that lack of motivation. I I can't
Me.
even say like what happened.
Me. I was like, Caitlin, we're doing a podcast. No questions asked. Let's go.
Well, yeah, that was for the yeah, but I'm thinking of just like it like if I'm thinking fitness, 'cause I was just talking about
Oh.
fitness and stuff too, or just moving and all the other things. I don't know what it was. Like it wasn't anything that like I just felt like I just didn't overall I didn't feel well, right, physically. And I'm like, well, or mentally, right? I was I was unstable. But I I just was like, well, I'm just gonna go start going to the gym again, like consistently. And then I did. And then I ran the 5K. And when I was running the 5K, I told you, I started getting like emotional and I started becoming tearful when I was running the 5K because I was like, dang, like this whole past year, I was so just struggled so much to get out of bed, to do these things, but my body still protected me. It still woke me up every morning. It still moved for me how it needed to move for me. And now I'm pouring back into my body in such a beautiful way that it's like we're running, like we're doing this. And I think that's the motivation right there. Like I'm doing this and I just want to live a good quality of life.
Running, my body would be like, Megan, what did I do to deserve this?
Well, that's exactly what I do on the tread. Like when I run, I go through these emotions rather, and like the other day I was running and it's like a slow. It's like my Sundays are my slow runs, so we just like we go more conversational pace, so it takes longer to get it done. And I'm like, oh, this is like dragging it out. So I'm like, what can I do in the meantime? And that's when I called you because I was trying to remember, like, what did I do during the run? Like, what was I doing? And I listen to some music, I'll sing, I put like make up scenarios in my head, of anything, maybe things that go along with the music. Um, and I'm just like trying to just make it and it's tough, but we get it done. But the motivation definitely wax and wanes like during the actual run in. And there's literally parts of me that are like almost so mean to myself. And I'm like, why the F did you do this? And then it's like, just kidding, we're doing great, you know? So it's like back and forth with that. But
That's me in the hot works sauna. Like the other day,
yeah.
I met a friend there, and it just halfway through, I'm like, oh my God, how do I still have half of this time left? I've been in here for what feels like hours. And I'm just like, why did I do this to myself? I could have been home right now. And then after, I'm like, oh, I forgot how good that feels.
Yeah.
Even though during it, I'm like, I hate these virtual trainers.
Right, right. I'm kicking myself in the butt for doing this. But then after you're like, I'll do it again. Um
Yeah, the next
I'll
day.
do, I'll do it again. Um I think too, it's just when we think of like different things that factor into what actually motivates us, we I'm sure you can speak in this too, but even so, like if I'm thinking more of my fitness realm, like I just started going to the gym consistently with one of my friends, and especially on the days that I'm getting up early, I'm still like, well, especially the days that I work, I'm like, okay, if I don't go, I'm not gonna go because after work, I'm like, I can't do it. Like I'm just physically tired, and knowing that I have to then wake up and do it all again, I was like, I can't do it. It has to be in the morning, and especially when I have my friend that's meeting me there, it's also okay. She's gonna be there. I have to make it. I have to go because someone else is gonna be there. So even if I like don't want to do it, like we're gonna do it. So that
I
definitely
was
helps.
just thinking the same thing. Like my friend that meets me at Hot Works, if she texts me in the morning, she's like, going to the gym tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you there. And we sign up for the class together. Like, especially if a third person joins that sauna, like, it motivates me because, like, I don't want to leave her in a sauna with a stranger by herself. Like,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and usually if we're the two of us are in there, a third person doesn't usually join. But just no, like, not, she's making the drive to the gym as well. So I don't want to leave her hanging. So it motivates me to be,
right.
she's making that 20-minute drive. I have to make that 20-minute drive. We meet in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. I think people can play a huge role in motivation too, and not just. I know we were just speaking for a moment about the like working out in the gym and everything like that, but it's just life stuff too, like of us pursuing our dreams and our goals, whether that's just career oriented or just personally. And you have people in your corner that are rooting for you and motivating you and telling you that you got this, even in those moments where your self doubt is like off the charts.
Another, as you were saying, not just like career wise or fitness wise, my house right now. Like,
Yeah.
although it's emotionally draining to keep seeing my house under construction, and it has been for a year, like, it motivates us to keep going because we know how worth it this renovation will be for us in the long run.
Yeah.
It's definitely motivating to know, like Sean just sheetrocked the mudroom the other day, and I got teary-eyed like, this is where our kids are going to hang their book bags until they're done with school. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
For the next 18 years, my kids are going to hang their little book bags in this little mudroom when they walk in the door. And so little steps that you see change in the house have, like, they're just little motivators because you want to see it come to life.
Yeah.
So that's a different version, I guess, of motivation than career and fitness.
No, but I think that ties into two things too. Because one, like, so many people, I think people might sometimes forget how emotions play such a big role in motivation too, where it's like the feeling of being excited or like even, excuse me, even emotional in like a positive manner of like happy tears, right? Of like, wow, this is so exciting to see this. Like, this is our future. But then if we think about it, like, I don't know. I keep talking about fitness because I'm just thinking about, but like, or even cleaning my apartment. Man, when I'm angry,
Oh, yep.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do anything. Like, the power of anger is making me thrive, you know? And not saying to take an angry approach all the time, but obviously there are those moments where you're just like, I am fed up, and you put on some music, boom,
Yep.
anger, music, the task is getting done. Whatever it might be, it's gonna happen and it's gonna get completed today.
When I'm like mad for some reason, like that is when the the ceilings get dusted and cleaned in my house. Like I pull out the big duster Swiffer thing, and
Yeah.
like I put the duster on the Swiffer mop, and I'm mopping my ceiling.
Just cursing all your enemies
No,
as
but
you
like
mop the ceiling.
that like madness or anger motivates me to deep clean my house. Like not just the normal dusting and putting things away and organizing and just wiping down the sinks and the counters and the tub and blah blah blah. It is like the walls get cleaned.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think
The beds get moved. All the stuff under the beds are pulled out. The couch is rearranged. Like that's when the good cleaning happens.
you walk into a brand new home.
I hope Sean doesn't hear this podcast episode because he's gonna be like, all I gotta do is piss her off. The
And she'll
ceilings are
get
gonna be
clean.
sparkling.
But I think that's definitely one component too, where it's like emotions 100% can factor into motivation. And even you mentioning where you mentioned with the house, you're doing these tiny steps, that when you're seeing these tiny steps all like be completed, you know that the end product. And I think that's similar to setting kind of like those short goals, like those short-term goals almost. So you're like setting these short-term goals, and I feel like sometimes with motivation, it's especially to keep motivation, right? Like to sustain the same motivation for whether it's like a end, like I don't know, a personal life goal, that's a big personal life goal, or a big career goal, or a big fitness goal or like whatever it might be, we have this like big long-term goal. And like for me it's doing a high rocks. Like I've already decided like I want to do a high rocks. But I feel like sometimes it's so good how you just mentioned of okay, we're kind of separating the house, we're doing these tasks. We just completed this one task and that's really excited. And I think that keeps that motivation alive even when there's those days where you might feel a little bit more stressed out or a little bit more like you can't see the big picture anymore on some of those days, right? But then you have these small goals that you are seeing come to like fruition or come alive, and you're like, okay, hold on. I remember the long term goal. I remember the end goal, and I know that we're working towards that too. And I think that helps maintain that motivation tremendously because I feel like if we just place that one goal, that one end moment, but we're not hitting anything in between, I think we can burn out.
Yeah,
And I
no,
think we
agreed.
can like then forget what it's all about anyways, which is just like, hey, yeah, we're trying to get here, but also I'm not trying to like lose ourselves in the process of this, and or become increasingly stressed or increasingly angry with each other or anything like that. I say with each other because I'm speaking about like I know you just mentioned the house too, and I know that's been like extremely stressful. But I think it's really great when we break it down and say, hey, I'm gonna do this for this date, or I'm gonna try to reach this by this, or anything like that.
No, for sure. Because, like, at first we were doing so many little things everywhere that you didn't really see the progress right away. Like, there was just little things everywhere. The house completely looked the same. But now that we're like for example, Sean finished the siding a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't a lot, but like winter hit, snow, it was negative for weeks here. Um, but he finished the siding, and it was crazy just to see how the the little bit of siding he had left to finish, like it completed the outside of the house. Like it looked like a brand new house, even though it was like three-quarters of the way done.
Yeah.
Um, but like it was almost like we were able to check something off the list, and I could see the progress now. So it was motivating us to be like, all right, well, we back to the sheetrock, and now we're doing one thing at a time instead of being like, well, let's do the sheetrock for the whole 1,100 square feet. Let's break it down. So he worked on the mudroom, and then what? Like you have to let it dry overnight, the tape in the mud. So then he worked on our kitchen, and then when that dries, like tomorrow, he'll go back to the mudroom and put the second coat on. But it's crazy to see how just the taping and mudding being put like are creating our walls. So now the mudroom has walls, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a room, and I'm already picking out the tile, and I'm ready for the next step. But it motivated me to just keep going. Where for so long we were both like in a rut, and we're like, what do we do? Like
Yeah.
it was just staring at the same walls for so long, and like both going through. I mean, we put down our dog Bear and our cat Squeak within a month of each other. Like it just our life was bombarded around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So finally completing the little steps, and we learned to not try to finish the whole house at once. It's not going to get done overnight, but taking those smaller steps are making the final picture, the bigger picture, just look so much better.
I'm just thinking, Dad's gonna listen to this and be like, I try to tell you. I try to tell you that.
Oh yeah, don't forget to shout out Dad because he listens to every episode.
you
We
know,
didn't we didn't mention him till the end of one episode, and he said to me, he goes, "I really thought you weren't going to mention me."
never. You are us. No, but 100%, or we are you.
Yeah,
Um,
that was better.
we are you. Um, no, 100%. I think. you touched on something really important too, of saying like we got into this rut. And I think people, and because I'm guilty of this too, where I'm like, well, this is the end. I'm just like, the goal is done. I'm not getting to it. And, that's that, because I am where I am right now and I am not doing anything to pursue the goal any further. And
On to the next.
on to the next, yes. And there have obviously been situations where I realized like this is no longer something that is suitable for me and I don't want to do it. And I think it's okay for people to come to that feeling as well. I think it's totally fine to set goals and then realize that your the place that you are in life right now doesn't align with that goal anymore, or you're just in a space where you can't put your focus there in the moment, and that's totally fine. And I think and hope that, as I think a lot of times it comes with age as well, like we shift and what motivates us shift, and where we want to place that energy shifts as well. Like when I was younger, I say younger, I am still very much young, but like in my earlier 20s, I was very like career driven, right? Like I wanted to get stuff done. Like I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I wanted to da. And I feel like, yeah, like I'm still gonna dismantle the healthcare system and rebuild that thing. But I also know like that's not my whole life. Like I'm very passionate about what I do, but that's
Passion.
not my I know, but that's not my whole life. And I have different things that motivate me now, and just living motivates me. The quality of life motivates me. My family motivates me in different ways, like to be more present with my family and my niece and my nephew and my friends, and to be more present for them and put an energy into them and get in the same energy. Like different things motivate me now versus just what did in the past, which was my career, or get into my career rather, because I wasn't quite there, right? But so I think it's really totally fine and totally okay to say this isn't what motivates me anymore, or like I'm not even motivated to do this anymore, and then switch gears. And I don't think that makes you a failure or makes you less adequate or makes you,
I
less
feel like
worthy.
I feel like it makes you smart and you're giving yourself grace because you're stepping back from the thing that you might not have any passion towards anymore, and you're putting your energy into something that will motivate you to get
Yeah.
to your end goal or to the next goal. It doesn't even have to be the end goal, but don't waste your energy on things that you don't want or that don't
Serve a purpose anymore.
yeah, like
Yeah.
just don't burn out on something that doesn't motivate you.
Yeah. And let's say something you still want to achieve and get to, but you are, as Megan mentioned, like you are starting to feel that burnout. You might just need to take a step back and reassess and kind of make, I guess, like,
Make some smaller goals to get there.
yeah. And also maybe just make some changes or adapt or anything like that to just make it feel a bit more attainable, and just so you don't lose that motivation towards it either, because I think sometimes people really are so passionate about things, and so like I said passionate like 10 times this episode. We should do one of those things every time Caitlin says passion, take a drink.
You'd be drunk. Oh no, I'm already looking for a good more passion, more
Take a
energy.
spoonful of ice cream.
Diabetic.
Oh my gosh. Sugar free. Halo.
I'm working on finding a reel to post to our Instagram tomorrow about more passion.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those just adapt, re-strategize, because at the same time, like if this is something that people want to do, we just don't want to see you in a burnout. And it can definitely happen to anybody, any one of us. And if you do burn out, call on your friends, call on the people who the closest your closest friends, your closest family, they're going to know what's going to motivate you. They're going to know how to help turn those gears again. And they're going to know what exactly it is that you're trying to get to as well. Whether that's on any ladder of anything, the career, the life, the fitness, the relationship, whatever it is, they are going to know. So if you start feeling that burnout, go call on your closest people, because guess what? If they're that close to you, if they mean so much to you, they're always going to want to see you succeed. They're always going to want to see you reach whatever you want to do, and they will always motivate you in
Brings
whatever way
us
you need it.
full circle back to one of our first episodes. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to Navigating Friendships
Yeah, yeah,
because we talked about it then. Like your real people, the people that are there for you, will be there for you and they'll be truthful with you. And even if it's hard to hear, they will know what your next step should be to motivate.
yeah, yeah. But I'm telling you, y'all see me anything, guess what? Speaking of ice cream,
Mm.
I am motivated for ice cream, y'all. You asked me to do something, got the ice cream. All right, bet. Motivate me with the ice cream. I got you.
Ice cream is a very common motivator in our family.
Storage shops. Y'all know that if
Mm.
y'all in New York, y'all know it. Storage shops do chocolate chip cookie dough for life.
Chocolate peanut
For
butter.
life.
Mm.
Stewards, what up? But but we appreciate y'all. We wanted to make this a little bit shorter. But we appreciate y'all. Is it a little bit short? I don't know.
No, we're at 37 minutes.
It's shorter. It's shorter than what we done. But we appreciate y'all listening, and maybe just, take time, reflect on what motivates you, what drives you, and tune into that too, and be excited about that and be grateful that you have those motivate. You don't have to be grateful for anything, but you can you can potentially be grateful that those motivators are what's there. I'm grateful that my motivator is just to live, to live life, to enjoy it, the quality. But
My motivation right now in life overall is to make this world and this life a little more easier on my kids. A little more easy, a little more, yeah, a little more easy, right? Or more.
to make this life easier
Oh,
on my
I hope
kids.
our grammar teachers are not listening to this. Just to make things better for my kids when I'm not here anymore.
Yeah. I think that's good motivation. But make sure you're doing something for yourself along the way.
But yeah, like give them English lessons because apparently I didn't have good ones. No, I'm kidding. I loved my English teachers. Loved.
Anyways, but we appreciate y'all. Stay motivated, stay blessed, do something that brings you joy. And if you're not motivated, call on the friends that'll help motivate you.
Follow us on Instagram, Two Sisters Unscripted. Have a wonderful week. We'll be back next week.
See ya.
Bye.